Thank you for joining us today for the virtual Sunday service with the Center for Creative Living. CCL, a charter of the Universal Church of the Master, has served and supported the spiritual needs of its community here in the Bay Area for over 20 years.
Good morning, good morning. I think we're going to start this morning. This is very interesting. This is the first time that we've ever had a speaker not show up or not call or not communicate in any way. So we're over here. You can't maybe see our feet, but we're tap dancing like mad. And so because we're here and we're glad that you're here, so we want to start out with a wonderful welcoming to the people on Zoom. Thank you so much. We're so glad that you are able to talk to us over Zoom. And we'd like to take this opportunity to start with a prayer. And if you wouldn't mind accompanying me, and we'll do a prayer and a little meditation kind of put together. Because we're going to be talking about the power of music. And so we want to start with some music, okay? And good morning. So if you'd all just put your feet flat on the floor. And take a nice deep breath and just breathe in. And I'd like you to let go of any energy that's been stuck. Stuck energy that has caused you to be a negative being, that has caused you pain, which has caused you trauma. And as you do this, I want you to bring in all of those beings that you know are going through a difficult time. Once you clear yourself of feelings of trauma and problems, you're more wide open to help other beings. So the first person we would like to put on our list of folks today is our wonderful Reverend Ronnie Grigsby. Ronnie had a stroke. It's been almost 2 weeks ago, and he's still recovering. And we want each one of you to think of him during the day with love, energy, and positive thoughts, that he can get healthy and back on his feet, okay? The other being that we want you to put in your prayers is Mother Earth. Mother Earth is suffering not only from climate change, but from wars that mankind has caused on her planet. So think of Mother Earth as a loving, guiding, helping being, an entity that is being attacked. So put Mother Earth in your prayers. What that means is just follow the sound of my voice. We want to bless Mother Earth from the very core, from the very essence. Take your wonderful mind and put it in the center of the earth, where you can feel all of the energy. You can feel the streams that are flowing out. You can feel in the center of the earth the love and that commitment that Mother Earth has to this planet. And as you do, visualize the oceans. And as you see the ocean rolling in, visualize it bringing in Mother Earth's energy. And then watch as the ocean goes out. And as it takes all the negativity off the shores so that they can be reborn. That movement of the tides is our wonderful Mother's way of cleansing. And while you do that, also find a place where there's a stream or a river that you can sit at. And when you do, when you sit at this stream or this river, I want you to feel emotion of it as it cleanses and releases all negativity. And if you are talking, people, if you would please sit down. You're in the midst of a meditation. Please, please, please sit. Because as this meditation goes on, each one of you should feel the love, the connectiveness, and the energy of the mother. Because this is where we come from. So many of you protect Mother Earth by recycling, by growing some of your own food. But right now, with your feet flat on the floor, I want you to let the energy flow up through your feet. And the energy of Mother Earth coming up through your feet, through your legs, through your knees, through your hips, all the way up through your back, and all the way up through your neck and your head. And let that energy flow up through you. Mother Earth's energy flowing through you. Get you grounded. Get you connected. Get you feeling that you are invincible. That you feel protected, connected by a being that is so strong and so wonderful. And now with your eyes still closed, I want you to listen to the wonderful Reverend Janet Childs.
Oh,
deep breath. Breathe in and exhale. Thank you so much, Reverend Janet. That was wonderful. We're so glad. Yes, yes. And I want to thank you all for being here. How wonderful to have you join us. And for those of you, if this is your first time, this is the Center for Creative Living. It's a spiritualist church, meaning you're accepted. Whatever religion you are, whatever your belief, whatever your gender, know that here we are all the children of Creator. And some of you might call Creator Jesus, some of you might call Creator Moses, some of you might call a Creator, so many different names that are out there. But as long as you know that you're not alone. And that's what we talk about here at the Center for Creative Living. Thank you so very much for joining us. Do we have any birthdays coming up this week? You know, this group just does not get any older. I don't know what it is. No, either that or they're a little bit shy about jumping up and saying, hey, it's my birthday. Unlike myself, Reverend Dottie Boone is not shy about talking about her birthday. I've been doing this all my life, and that's been quite a long time. And one of the things that we have every Sunday is a guest speaker. And this morning, my little heart was going, oh, no, he's not going to show up. He's not going to show up. And Eric, I'm so glad to see your smiling face. It was like, yay, our speaker is here. You don't know. When that happens, it's one of those things that you feel like, uh-oh. But luckily, Janet and Brianna were going to fill in. They were saying, we're going to... And Stephen, too. We had all these people volunteer to help. And thank you so much. And Corky will sign you up for later in the year. Now that we know you're eager, that's what we're going to be having. So thank you so much. After service, we have coffee. You want to be talking? Introduce yourself. What? There's cookies. And there's cookies. Oh, my gosh. Look at that. Thank you, Joan, for the cookies. So we'll have a chance to get to know you, at least get to know your name. And hopefully you filled out a program or a card on the program that says you're new here. And because every week we send out a thing called the Center for Creative Living Insights, CCL Insights. And you find out who's going to be speaking, what's going to be happening, okay? Anybody have any announcements that they want to make? Yes. What is going on, Chris?
Is what did go on.
Yeah. Yeah. What did go on?
What did go on? A wonderful thing happened about a week ago. 2 weeks ago, when Janet and I gave our talk here on peace, unity, love, and wholeness, it didn't get recorded. And we love everybody who was involved, and all the more so for our own humanity around that. So Janet and I got together last Monday, and we did a redo. And you can see that it's in the regular place on the insights, the regular place that you go to get the link. What I want to mention is that when we recorded, about 3 minutes in, when Janet and I stood up, the camera went wonky, and we had about a 2-minute funny thing, and then we started again. So when you see it, until it gets edited, when you see it, there's going to be a fun little wonkiness at 3 minutes. But I do encourage you to watch it. It's or even just listen. You don't even have to put on the video, but if you're in your office or something and you want to listen to something, we had a good time, and apparently people who heard it enjoyed it. So I encourage you. Peace. Love, peace, unity, love, and wholeness.
Thank you so very much. Yeah, yay, thank you. Thank you, Ed, for getting together, and Janet.
And humanity and forgiveness.
Yep. That's forgiveness. I appreciate that. Anybody else have anything they want to share? Is this our Joan coming up here?
Yes. It is Joan. And Chris's and Janet's talk was absolutely wonderful in bringing the ideas of wholeness, of love, of friendship together from all the different religions. And it was an amazing talk. So I know that if you didn't hear it the first time, you'll want to hear it the second time. I'm doing the talk at UCM next Tuesday.
No, week after next.
Second Tuesday in March.
Second Tuesday in March.
Second Tuesday.
I'm doing the talk sometime in March. And it's on astrology, and what I've called it is snapshots of astrology. And what I'd like to do with this is if you have specific questions about astrology that you would like answered, what I'd like you to do is email me, really simple, joanstutz@gmail.com. Email me and say, you know, what I've always wondered about astrology is, and I may be able to answer some of those questions during the talk, but I want to make it kind of an interactive experience because for so many people, astrology is sort of a mystery, and I want to make it as accessible as I can. And since my birthday is coming up, I'm real ready to make it accessible, right? Okay, so I'll look forward to hearing from you about astrology.
Thank you. So, so you can bring anything you want, the question about astrology, and be on Zoom, and then Joan will answer it for you. Come on up, Brianna.
So in honor of Mother Earth, as we were speaking earlier, I wanted everybody to know, remember last October 10th, no birds were coming to my bird bath, and I started cleaning them out every day with soapy water with a little Clorox and making sure they had no avian flu in the water. And I posted it on Nextdoor, and 1,500 people knew about it, and the bird feeder stores were cleaning people's bird feeders of avian flu. And I told Creator, I said, I do not want to live in a planet without birds. And I'm doing my best. And Creator answered the prayer.
Yay.
And the birds are just making nests everywhere, and they're back, and it's
Yay, birds.
So the moral of the story, that I follow this guy I call the Wise Bulgarian. His name is Mikhail Ivanhoff, and I get his daily meditations. That's why I call him the Wise Bulgarian. and he says things that are really that touch my heart, that are spiritual in nature. And he said, we as humans cannot see that good overcomes evil in the long run. But it in fact does, and it is when people see someone doing something good and join them.
Perfect. Thank you so much for sharing. Okay, anybody else? This is wonderful. Thank you so much for sharing the positive and loving things that are going on in our lives. Isn't it nice to hear something positive? Yes. You know, when you read the newspaper or you watch the news and everything seems to be pretty darn negative, it's great to hear something positive things. Okay. Well, we're talking about music today. Yes. And now, Eric, you have a big choice to make. Are you ready for this big choice? You either get to sit here next to me or stand there at the podium, okay? Because that way we want you where you're the most comfortable. Okay. And this is Eric Meece. Now, Eric and I, is there a doctor or a reverend or a mister or something in front of Eric Meece? Or?
No.
Okay.
Nothing in front of me that I can see.
Okay.
Except when I turn this way, I see. I was a little late because I forgot to make some copies of the illustrations for you. And my printer conked out, so I only have a few with both sides. But this talk is online at philosopherswheel.com. So if you have your phone with you, then you can follow along. But those up in front, I will hand out the ones that I did get.
You know, the ones that have the courage to sit in front, get one.
Yeah, that's
right.
right.
I love that.
So it's Philosopher's Wheel?
Yeah. Oh, okay. And I have more that only have one side.
So it's Philosopher's Wheel?
Yeah.
Philosopher's Wheel.
Okay.
Thank you.
Yeah, good.
I can share. I mean, I can.
All right. Anybody else?
I would like one.
So
Thank you, Eric.
everything that's on the other side is also on the website. And on the website, I didn't mention this church yet, but don't worry, I will.
Well, we would like to mention a little bit of things about you.
Okay.
Okay, I met you 40 years ago?
Well, could be that far. I don't know.
Yeah.
1980s, huh?
Yeah.
We've been together for 4 years, and we're doing psychic prayers before I did that.
Right, right. And Eric had some of the most magnificent psychic fairs around. The music and the energy and the positive and the picketing. For those of you who missed the picketing, there were many people of a Christian persuasion who decided that this was of the devil. And so there were big picketers and big signs and chanting and everything going on outside these wonderful light energy fairs that he presented. And it took a little bit of guts to cross the picket line, since I was a union member at the same time, you know, and when I realized they weren't union people, they were just disgruntled people, it changed the whole energy. I gladly crossed, but Eric had to put up with people of every persuasion trying to make him wrong, and yet he was so good at putting together fairs to bring people, to get them interested in everything metaphysical. There were wares to buy, there was music to listen to, there were dancers to watch, there were readings to get, readers and healers and everything else. And Eric, I don't know if enough people have thanked you for that.
Probably not, yeah.
Yeah, because it was such a yeah. It was so wonderful, and you went and you came home feeling revitalized.
Usually with a crystal,
At least one crystal, yeah, it was incredible. So, I want you at this time to really acknowledge and appreciate Eric Meece. He's one of ours. Okay.
Thank you, Dottie.
You're welcome.
And thank you for your support during all those years, too.
Yes.
And I want to mention, again, the website, philosopherswheel.com, and right near the top, there's a link to this talk with all the illustrations on it, too. And I want to thank Dottie, too, for asking me to speak. When I came the other week, I was wondering whether I should come and ask when you're going to let me speak. And lo and behold, you asked me to. I didn't bring anything, and you just asked me to. So you are a genuine psychic, I'm sure.
Thank you.
Okay, so away we go. All right, so I like to tell the story of how I came to be here. A new member of a spiritualist church. Do you have members, actually, official members?
Yeah, here we are. Everybody that comes through the door.
Anybody who comes in the door. Okay, so I'm a member then.
Yes.
Okay, and thankful to get this somewhat interesting tale. I may still need a lot more evolution, but one thing I have proven able to do by now is to write about it and tell some of the insights I've found along the way. I was brought up in a science-oriented household, and astronomy was my obsession at 6 years old. In 1966, my science teacher said, if only I had applied myself, I could really go places in science. But by then, I was finding I didn't have the answers that I wanted, so I got intensely curious. Most of all, I felt math and science could not explain beauty. And I had always felt not only a kinship with nature, but that being alive was too strange to explain by science. I've always been musical, too. The best discovery from my beginning piano lessons was Beethoven's Ode to Joy.
Oh, yeah.
You're all familiar with that? But now I was a teenager attached to the pop music of the 60s, too, and I kept a list of favorites. But in June 1966, I was worried that another new favorite song that would make it had not come along in a while. But suddenly, in late June 1966, they came. I was swept away by Petula Clark's song, I Couldn't Live Without Your Love. Any of you remember that song?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, okay, good, good. I couldn't live without your love. So when people want to share, I don't really care, just as long as you are there. And the Byrds, Fifth Dimension. This is a little bit more obscure song. How many remember the Byrds' 5D Fifth Dimension song? Janet is. Well, let's see. I'll sing it a little bit in the next sentence. Okay. The Byrds' Fifth Dimension had a beautiful sound and strange lyrics that I slowly began to figure out. I was so happy that these new favorite songs had come along that I was in bliss. I was a teenager obsessed with my favorite songs, so who knows what's going to send me into bliss and awakening, but these songs did, okay. And this Byrds song said, I opened my heart to the whole universe and I found it was loving. Okay, so there's a little excerpt of it. That's exactly what I did. I raised my consciousness to the sky and love flowed into me. I was catching the vibes of the Cultural Revolution going on then, in the summer of 1966. And to my question, what is beauty? I found that love is the answer. I suddenly began to experience beauty as never before. I didn't need to take LSD to become open to the richness and subtlety of the world. This was all happening in that week, at the end of June, early July 1966. I had just seen the movie, The Russians Are Coming, The Russians Are Coming. And how many remember that one?
Yes.
All right. I felt a new lightness as I walked home from the theater. Something had shifted in me, but I didn't know it until that night when the Petula songs arrived, that same night. Soon I discovered that the vivid, frantic images in this kaleidoscopic movie stuck with me, and its beauty and its message coincided with the music. It had been filmed in scenic Mendocino on the north coast of California, which my mom and my family really liked when we went there 5 years before. How many of you have been to Mendocino? Mm-hmm. Okay. We decided in August 1966 to go there again and see the location shown in the movie. We crept up on the church in town and visited the harbor, and I walked under the scenic water tower. And just as I did, Petula Clark came on the nearby radio with her previous hit from a few months before called It's the Sign of the Times. Synchronicities began to appear that I really treasured. The Beatles had just come out with Revolver and their great psychedelic song Tomorrow Never Knows, and the mesmerizing Here, There, and Everywhere. And the hit record from the album was We All Live in a Yellow Submarine. The story The Russians Are Coming was also about how a Russian submarine got stuck on the American coast and the resulting panic and eventual merry resolution with the Russians. After our Mendocino visit, we went to Clear Lake for a boat ride. Then, to my dad's great displeasure, I took a rowboat tied to the dock and went out on the lake all by myself that night. It was transcendently peaceful. So this spiritual awakening opened me to ideas I had not known before. My worldview was shifting 180 degrees. My first new obsession was ghosts. Then I started reading the books that my parents brought home from their own religious exploration group. but which they didn't agree with. By 1967, the ghosts of illusion melted from me, and I knew I was not just myself in a body, but one with all. I wrote a paper on Zen for English class. Speaking of clash, my teacher knocked it. Okay. So that sent me into some dark nights of thinking about things. And ever since then, I've been thinking too much instead of too little. But I also studied Alan Watts, and one of the things he says that has really stuck with me is that, you know, we all think that we're just inside this barrier called our skin. But there's no inside without an outside. And everything that is outside is in our own minds, in our own heads, and we ourselves are out in everything we see and perceive. So that's where this interaction, this oneness we can feel comes in. And so that's what I was discovering back then. I had not believed in astrology before now. Speaking of astrology, I became one too. I started reading about the circle of 12 zodiac signs and the planets and what they mean. Because of my new mystical bent, I thought that Neptune, the mystical planet, must be closely lined up or in conjunction with my sun. And to my astonishment, when I looked up its position, it was right there where I thought. I picked out what the rest of my chart would be too. So that convinced me. I considered then all the upheavals and cultural revolutions going on in the 60s. This was 1968, more or less. And I thought there must be a conjunction or alignment of some of the, or one or two or three of the outer planets, which have to do with transcendent experiences and awakenings and revolutions. These are Uranus, Neptune, and Pluto. And I asked myself when the new energy that I was experiencing was at its peak, and discovered that the conjunction was exact in late June 1966.
Wow.
The exact time of my awakening. I was stunned. This discovery inspired me to eventually publish a book on the cycles of the outer planets and how they describe history and the future, entitled Horoscope for the New Millennium. So you can still get that on Amazon if you want it. It's in an ebook also, but also there's used copies available also. This planetary conjunction truly was the sign of the times, just as the lady who awakened me, Petula Clark, had said. The water tower itself was like a symbol for Aquarius, and the myth of the dawning of the age of Aquarius was spreading and was soon also celebrated in song. I later discovered that the music of the spheres is real, and it's inside of us as what we call the chakras, or conscious energy centers along our backbone. And to my amazement, some interest in numbers came back too. You remember that I was looking askance at math at this point. But, well, you could even say I was coming full circle. The number 54 became my favorite because it is basic to all music. What we call the solfeggio scale is based on the notes called sol and fa, solfeggio, or G and F in the C major scale. You may remember Julie Andrews and The Sound of Music. She was a close colleague of Petula Clark. And she taught me the scale. We taught us all the scale to the Von Trapp family singers in The Sound of Music in 1965. You may know it as do, re, mi, fa, sol, la, ti, and back to do, back to do. It's called the sol, fa scale because of what is known as the circle of fifths. Now, those of you who have both sides, you can turn it over and see an illustration of that and follow along on the website if you're there and see it there. If you jump up 5 tones from the tonal note do up to the 5th note in the scale, sol, you can make sol the next do, And if you do this 12 times, from the bottom of the keyboard to the top, you return to the same note where you started, do high on the keyboard. The do tones of all these 12 keys together give you all the possible notes of the scale, or all the white and black keys on the piano. If you go downward 12 times from the stop, starting from high do down to fa, the fourth note of the scale, you end up back down through all the keys to where you started down at the bottom. So the first, fifth, and fourth tones are basic to all music. Notice that there are 12 keys in the circle, just like the zodiac, and 7 levels through which the keys move. And you can see that on the illustration there. Looking through the web for articles on the sol-fa scale, I just discovered to my amazement that it was a super materialist scientist and alchemist named Isaac Newton who linked who linked the 7 notes of this scale to the 7 colors of the rainbow that he defined. And in the New Age culture, which we're all involved in here, whatever we call it, psychics report that these are the tones and colors of the 7 chakras. So this means that the music of the spheres is within us, because the chakras in turn are linked to the 7 visible planets and lights of the solar system. So this illustration in the front there, you can see all the correlations, if you want to see those. Now, these correlations get amazing because of how important the 5th and the 4th chakras are to us, and how they are linked to the planets, tones, and colors that awaken us to how the chakras feel within us and how they function in our lives. Most people, when they hear the word heart in our scientific materialist society, think it means only the organ that pumps our blood. Now, that's very important to being alive, but New Age spiritualists know that the ancients, as the ancients did, that the heart is the very center of our being. Wayne Dyer, remember him? Yeah. On the TV show, he taught this little exercise. Okay, so let's do it right now. Point to yourself. Notice where you're pointing. Notice where you're pointing. Okay. So we can be aware of the heart center, located near the heart organ. When we do that, we are guided to the right relationships with others, which I'm still learning, and also to what is authentic within ourselves. So when we pay attention to our heart, we're more in touch with who we really are, and we're more in touch with others. Following your heart is more than a cliche. To be in contact with our soul, we need to listen to it. Venus, planet of love, is correlated to the heart chakra, which is also known as the 4th chakra, up from the base, first tonic chakra ruled by Saturn, and is linked to Fa, the 4th tone. And when healthy, it radiates green to our spiritual sight. Remember that when we move through the circle of fifths downward, we move from the high tonic Do down to the 4th tone Fa 12 times. In the C major scale, this is F. This downward movement represents how we need to be receptive and open to feel the heart chakra. It is always there to guide us, but we need to ask. The relationship of the orbits of Venus and the Earth create a beautiful pattern of 5 flower petals in 4 sizes within a circle. Now, on the reverse side of your picture from the chakra correlations, you can see the pretty little pattern there of the circle with the 5 flowers in 4 sizes within a circle. That is the pattern of Venus and Earth orbits together. So that's kind of an amazing little fact about the proportions and divine beauty in our solar system and our Earth. The divine proportion, or Fibonacci numbers, are found in the pattern of these orbits. And when Leonardo da Vinci created his famous Vitruvian Man drawing of the human body, the heart was located at the divine proportion point along the backbone axis of the circle occupied by the man. So you all know what the divine proportion is? Have you heard of that? Good, very good. Often used by artists, so it's correlated to the heart center is the point of that. I also want to mention Mercury, the messenger planet. It represents the 5th chakra at the throat, the center from which we speak and sing. It's also the 5th tone, Sol, or G in the C major scale. In the circle of fifths, we move upward through the circle from the bass tone Do to Sol. So this is a more assertive function. When healthy, it radiates a sky blue color. The G tone is produced by a fraction of 3/2. It so happens that Mercury makes 3 rotations on itself within 2 of its orbits. We need all 7 chakras, all 7 tones, and all 7 colors to awaken the music within us. They connect our body with our spiritual body. But with our 5th and our 4th chakras together, we sing all the songs of our soul. As Norma Tanega and Norma Kutzner wrote in their song in 1966 called I'm the Sky. I'm the sky, 'cause I'm singing my song in the wind. It's love, it's mine, it's yours, it's life, it's free. I think that's a good chant. So join me. It's love, it's mine, it's yours, it's life, it's free. It's love, it's mine, it's yours, it's life, it's free. And this was the flip side of her hit song, Walkin' My Cat Named Dog. And I guess I'm too shy to sing it, but anyway. Walking my cat named Dog, we're walking high against the fog, swinging the sand. Love is a friend, love is my only cat. People, what you think of that? That's where I'm at. That's where I'm at. Do, 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 do. It's just a beautiful song. And so that was an earlier #1 favorite of mine from 1966. Okay. And I'm the Sky is the flip side. And so I guess that's about it.
But you gave us so much information. That is amazing. I didn't realize there was a coordination of all of these things that all are saying the same thing.
Yeah.
Philosopher's
Wheel.
Philosopher's wheel. Mm-hmm. In alchemy, there is this thing called the philosopher's stone. It is the catalyst for spiritual awakening. And so, since I like wheels, I'm an astrologer, and I like the circle of fifths and everything like that. I called it my website, the Philosopher's Wheel.
Well, I want to ask something though.
Yeah.
You went from a science background,
Yeah.
and then you move into a metaphysical awareness.
Mm-hmm.
And where do they come together instead of one being here and one being here? I know there has to be a fusion of the two.
Well, there's some indications in my talk about, astronomy,
Right.
and the mathematics within music.
Mm-hmm.
And so that's one avenue that I talked about.
Yeah. And when you're doing this, do you get the spirituality of it all through Creator, or do you feel these are just earthbound?
Well, both.
Okay.
And the Creator to me is in everything, everywhere.
Right.
And so I don't really like kneeling before a Lord so much.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
But I see the Lord everywhere.
Right.
And
Or lady,
yes,
or
exactly.
creator, yeah, yeah,
And Lord and Lady and whatever it is.
yeah.
So
Great.
any questions?
Did your astrology book go up to what's happening now?
Yes, and into the future.
Okay, and do you remember what it said about this time?
Yes, that's what I talked about last night, or yesterday afternoon, but I don't want to go too much into it now, but we don't have time. Yeah. But this is a very crucial time. We're coming in. Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
wait just a minute. Ed, is it picking up the question? Yeah,
Yeah,
Maybe we
okay.
need to repeat the question.
yeah, repeat the question.
Repeat the question,
Joan.
Joan.
Two sentences about your book predicting today.
Okay. Well, the planets Uranus, Neptune, and Pluto that I talked about, they describe our place on the greater cycles of time. And when they return to positions that they occupied before in their cycle, such as where they were when the nation was born that we live in, we face a crucial turning point. And our president said we are at an inflection point that affects everything that comes after. So we have some decisions to make over this decade. Are we going to revere our planet and change our energy sources? What are we going to do about all these wars going on? That's just some of what we need to decide. So that's where we are.
Is your talk from yesterday on your website?
Not specifically, but it's all based on my book. And I have a new book, too, a recent book, updating the first one called Horoscope for the New Age. And that's available in paperback and ebook on Amazon. So it was all based on that. I don't know if my talk is going to be available or not. They did record it on Zoom.
Okay. Well, this has been wonderful. I want to thank you so very much. And you're going to lead right into what Joan is going to be talking about on the 12th, about astrology and some about horoscopes. So this is going to be a widening process of us learning more. I like that. It's fantastic. And thank you for the handouts.
You're welcome.
Thank you so very much.
Thank you.
I'm not too sure about the scare I had of our speaker not showing up. You did very well. Thank you.
Well, yeah, I wanted to get these handouts.
I know the feeling. I think every
Yeah.
one of us has
Yeah.
been caught thinking, I need to get the handouts, whether it's at work or whether it's
Yeah.
for church or whatever it is. So thank you
Yeah.
so much for doing that. We really do appreciate it. Good?
He got here in time anyway.
Yes, he did. But you didn't see my tap dancing going on underneath the table.
Yes, I'm sorry about that.
No, that's fine. We're so glad that you made it. I want to thank you so very much. And we are going to say our wonderful honoring of the, when we pass the basket. So if, do I have some people who could, okay, pass the basket? And this is the blessing. If you join me, it's on your program. And is, I give thanks for my spiritual community. I live in a world of freedom and abundance. I am happy to support my spiritual community. Thank you, Universal Spirit, for your everlasting love and support. And so it is. Yay, thank you so very much. And at this point in time, Jen, I feel like we didn't hear much of just some positive something. Do you have something we could sing or chant to as we close?
I think we'll just make it up right now.
I think we're just making it up right now. Sounds great. Okay, let's do it.
We are one, and we are whole. We are free, and we are together. We are one, we are whole. We are free, and we're together. We are one, we are whole, we are free, we're together. We are one, we are whole, we are free, and we're together. We are one, we are whole, we are free, and we're together. We are one, we are one, we are whole, we are whole, we are free, we are together. We are one, we are whole, we are free, and we're together, together, together.
Thank you so very much. Yay, thank you, Janet. Okay, Ed, who do we have on Zoom, please?
Okay. The normal thank yous for this and that. And then I'll just, from Lisa, Ed, can you ask Eric to give me his email? Lisa from the past, Karpinski. She's been looking for you for years.
Uh-oh. What did you do? Uh-oh.
Eric, ERIC at philosopherswheel.com.
There you go. Lisa, you have it on video.
Okay.
And let's see, from Sky, the I Love You Mama Boone. From Ann up north, I really enjoyed your talk, Eric, so interesting. Let's see. Patty and Joyce, P&J. Beautiful meditation and song, Dottie and Janet. Well needed on this fine day. Oh, okay. From Ann Corbin up north. Thank you for the beautiful meditation and song. Blessings for Ronnie and Mother Earth, and blessings to all that are in need of healing and love. And from Patty and Joyce, good morning all. Happy sunny Sunday from Santa Cruz. Sunny in Santa Cruz in the morning is a
That's
blessing
a happy
indeed.
day. Yeah, yeah.
I think that pretty much covered it.
Well, wonderful. Thank you so very much. And this is a time we're going to say, have a cup of coffee, have some cookies, just kind of meet people that you haven't met before. And thank you so very much for joining us. We really do appreciate it. Next week is going to be me. Yeah, oh yay me, because I want to start talking more about spirituality all around us. It's like people think the only time you get any spiritual messages or can feel any spiritual things at church. Well, the truth is, just like you were talking about bringing in spirituality of everything, the spheres, each one of us carries within us a part of the Creator. And knowing that and working with that energy, it helps you calm down. How many of you react if you see something happening, you react, but you don't do anything about it? You see somebody doing something you don't like, and you go rah, 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 and you take it home and rah, 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 rah. Let's take that spirituality and start doing something about it. If you see somebody being hurt, say, hey, wait a minute. I love what happened with the bakery that Tesla, that's all over the news, that Tesla didn't pick up the order for 2,000 little pies. The bakery's on Alma, and I can't remember the name of it. And so what happened is they put it on the air, and they have lines out of the front door and wrapping around. In 3 hours, they made up the loss of the money from Tesla, and Tesla has said, we're gonna hire you for a bigger order, and we're gonna make sure you're paid first. And what happened? That spirituality of people saying, no, we don't want anybody mistreated who works as hard as bakers do. And they made it right.
My goodness, you can be mean about pies.
Yeah. So I want you to think of that during the rest of this weekend and going into the week. What is the spirituality within you? The bringing the birds back into her wonderful yard. She worked hard to let the birds know this is a safe place. How many of you have a safe place in your home or in your yard or in your life? So many times people don't feel safe. So what I want you to do is this week is think of, how can I help somebody feel safe that isn't? When we first started our group, it was called The Safe Place. Spiritual enlightened.
Spiritual awareness for enlightenment.
Yeah, spiritual awareness for enlightenment was safe. And then they started using it for kids. If they stopped, a policeman said, I want to go to a safe place. They had a safe place set up for children. So that's when we changed the name of it to the Center for Spiritual Living. Creative living, thank you. I'm giving kudos to another organization, which is also a good organization. But I want you to just feel that spirit. Spirit is not just talking about it on Sunday. Spirit is something you carry within you. So please think of, what can I do? And it might just be a little bit. I think one of the greatest things that I saw happen was at our house, that it was raining like mad. And this little kitty had curled up. And I don't know who it belongs to or whatever. And Corky took just a plain box, good old Amazon box, and put a towel in the bottom of it. And we looked out there, and there was that kitty. She'd gotten in that box, and you could just see she just burrowed down, and she was nice and warm because she was under the overhang, so she couldn't get wet, and she was dry. And, you know, she just had that look like, thank you. And it was so easy just to do something to take spirit and put it out. So for this week, find something little, because I'm going to ask you about it next week. I'm going to say, what little thing did you do last week that showed you are a spiritual being? Thank you very much. And we please stay, have a cup of coffee, have a cookie, and we are going to be thinking of you all week. Yay! Blessings to you. Okay, thank you. Hallelujah. Yes, hallelujah.